Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're doing the struts. My dad's here helping me, so I have a few tips and tricks that you might find helpful. We'll cover everything here in detail, so this will be your one-stop video. You don't have to go anywhere else. But if you do want to go elsewhere, 1A Auto has 2 videos for placing struts, and they're pretty detailed, easy to follow. Alright, as far as tools, 13 mil wrench, 14 mil, a 17 mil. 17 came with the new links, by the way. Oh, we're also doing the links, the sway bar links, because they have to come off to do the struts. So now's the time. We used a 4 mil Allen socket on a socket ratchet there. We got a 13 and a 14 and a 17 socket there, with some drill attachments, some Scotch Brite to clean up the rust, some penetrating oil, that's Deep Creep by Seafoam, hammer, flat screwdriver. We use that bendy wrench for more leverage. Just bring out your tools. On my car, these happen to be 13 millimeter, but on other cars, they were 14s. It's a good idea to use some lubricant. Deep Creep is great because not only is it a rust penetrant, but it's a great lubricant as well to slide this thing out of the ball. Not the ball, the knuckle here. We'll spray it on this as well. We'll be removing that. And you don't have to spray it up there. Where else we got to spray? Right here. We'll be taking that off. And of course we'll come around this side. And then we will come around to the bolt here. Spray ahead of time, days in advance. So right here, there's a clip. And you have to stick the screwdriver in there and just pry out the clip. Get in there, pry it out, use pliers, flathead screwdriver, whatever you have. There you go. Now you can take that out. It goes down and then out. Next order of business, this one here just slides right out. Yep. And then right down here, you don't have to remove the ABS plug, but we will be hammering in this general area, so to avoid destroying it, you might as well take it out. So just pinch it, and it eventually comes out. Next thing, this here, zoom in. This here is a 4 mil Allen, and that is a 14 millimeter nut. This part's tough, so be careful. Get the wrench on there first, ratchet wrench helps, and then the Allen key. You're going to use the Allen key to hold that stud in place, and the wrench to knock it loose. It's going to use another wrench on the end of that wrench, effectively making it longer and getting more leverage. There you go, busted it loose. But that's not all. It gets harder as you thread it out. These are a pain in the ass. Wow, it's coming that easy. It's crazy. There you go, just remove it out. Now, this I haven't seen in other YouTube videos. We'll cover it in a bit, but the bottom bolt, see if I can get it on video here. The bottom one there, the control arm is in the way from getting anything on the back side. So what you can do is when you replace your strut, take the strut out first, and then you can pry that down, and all of a sudden you have a lot more space in order to get an Allen socket on the back side of that. So he got out the top one. We're going to now remove the struts, and I'll show you the rest of that link removal once we get the strut out. It makes life a lot easier. So right now we're using a 2-foot pry bar and a 17 socket on that knuckle bolt. We're just going to break it loose. We're going to go straight to the impact. There you go. So now we take a hammer, a big hammer, little one won't work, and we just tap it down on these ribs, and you'll see it start to come out. There's no need to remove that center nut. There's no need to do anything else. See it coming a little bit? the penetrating fluid slash lubricant is bubbling, which means it's moving a little bit.
It's moved half an inch.
Half inch already. Look at that. It's going easy. Got a block of wood. Want me to hold it? Look at him one-handing this. Big sledgehammer. There you go. Came right out. See? It is completely free, and we didn't have to remove any axle nut or anything. This axle, and when it connects into the transmission, it's not held in by anything, so you can pull it out. Up here, I think it's 13 mil for us. Just gonna knock those loose. Now this whole thing here rotates and moves. So essentially, once that top bolt comes out, we can just sort of rotate this, and you'll see us rotate it, and then the spring will come right out. So let's try rotating this and stepping down on it. Do you want to step down on here? There you go. So it's not quite out yet. Stop stepping on it. You want to pull out the axle. It doesn't seem to be actually unthreading at all. Well, I see what's happening. I'll show you what's happening if you didn't catch any of that. So you see right in the center of the screen what looks like a nut without a hex on it, you know, for a wrench. It's actually spinning in place. That's the threaded part. So I tried putting leverage on the spring, and it's not budging, it's still spinning. So what we have to do is take a zippy disc, a grinder, and literally cut the bolt head off. Which is fine, because these struts actually came with new hardware. New bolts and new washers. So these are things you don't learn on those other videos. Like 1A Auto is fantastic, except they're very professional. So if they have a snag like this, sometimes they'll talk about it, but other times they'll just cut it all out as if it never happened. There you go. Out with the old, all torn up boot, and
I don't know if
in with the new.
Washer.
Here's the new spring. A couple of tips and tricks when installing the spring. Okay, first of all, make sure to clean that knuckle. Right? You don't want any little speck of dirt in there, because that little speck of dirt, if I've learned anything as a machinist, will get in the way of everything. And then of course, top side, make sure there's nothing crazy in the way. Alright, so now here's what we can do with this link, right? As you can see, there's not a lot of space on the bottom side of that link. See? All that space. Do it again. Pry it up. Now you have tons of space to get a tool on the back of that. So before, you weren't able to get a tool in here, pry it up. And now, well, that's in the way, but now you can get a tool in there and take it out. It's going to be hard to film, so just take our word for it. We got it pried up, we got the Allen key on, the wrench on, but we needed some extra leverage, so we used this wrench on the end of that wrench and just push down here, and it got it moving. And we just take it out. Alright guys, time to think ahead. Before you go and put the strut back, put your new link in first so that you can pry everything down again and get your tool on and tighten everything up. So we cleaned that out, sprayed it with some lube. You'll have to note there's a slot in there, and that slot fits the new spring in a way. This here is your locking tab where your bolt goes through. This tab has to go through that slot. So when you put your spring on, make sure you line it up half-ass. And then of course up here, this thing here rotates independently. So you can line up the studs at the top. So what I recommend, at least what we did, is we got this all in first, then we jacked it up a little bit under the ball joint, rotated this, and got those studs in. So kind of get it in, then you can rotate. Want to step down on it? You can step on it and rotate. Sorry, it's probably in the way. And then push in and down until it kind of slips in place. There we go. Once it kind of slips in place, you can line up that tab with the back, which actually I think it is lined up perfectly somehow. Then just rotate a little bit, move this around, lift up, wiggle it. And I can see that it's not lined up, so I'll just move the spring by hand. I'll rotate. Wow, look at that, it went right in, holy shit. Take our Loctite, just put a tiny bit on the bolt, and it won't vibrate loose. These get torqued down to 55 foot-pounds, and the links get torqued down to 40 foot-pounds, I believe. Oh yeah, it does have to go up about another 1/8 of an inch. So what we do is we take the jack and put it underneath the ball joint and just jack it up. We'll tap on the knuckle with a hammer. Oh wait, there we go. Okay, that's threading in. Set our torque wrench for 55. Sorry about the poor filming, but torque this down right now. Good to go. Now all you have to do is line up the top, which we'll show you how to do. Yeah, so we can move this around freely. There's a plate up here, so you can see where the holes are.
Oh, well, not bad.
And then we'll just rotate this plate until it lines up with the holes. Wait, I got it, Dad. Of course, once I get that in, we stick this back in. That's pretty easy. But we're all finished. Everything is down. These up here, torqued down to 25 foot-pounds. Use Loctite, remember. Everything's on under there. We got the sway bar links on, the new links. Torqued down to 40 foot-pounds, I believe. And of course, this big one here, 55 foot-pounds. And all the your brake line, other line, your ABS, and don't forget to plug it back in. That's my mom over there. Hey Mom, say hi. Hey-o! Your dad, thanks for helping.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Alright, until further news. I shall talk to you later.